24. Got all my kids here, and I want them to know what to look forward to in the end times. We always look forward to Jesus coming back. You know, like my papa said, Jesus come back when you're in your car on your way home. You can be on your way home and have a wreck, and there you go, Jesus come for you. Nobody knows when our time's done. It's kind of weird in a way if you think about it. Like, you wake up every day not knowing it's your last day or not. Not knowing if it's your friend's last day or your wife's last day. Like, I don't know if today is my last day or not. And so we always got to be ready. I think God did that on purpose instead of just letting the old people die and the young people never die. I think he did it on purpose so we all be ready, be on our feet. And we got to be ready to die. We got to be ready to meet God. Revelation says as the tree fall, there it lays. So however your condition is when you die, that's how you got to face God. You can't say, oh, Lord, I wasn't ready. Let me have a little bit more time. It's okay, go back and straighten things out. That ain't going to happen. And not only is it important for me, and I don't think it's selfish that I try to get ready for heaven. I try to get ready to meet God. I also want my kids ready to meet God. And I was warned a lot growing up to leave the drugs alone, to leave the sin alone. And I still fell into a lot of it. And a lot of my friends, a lot of church people I grew up with fell into it because we had church people telling us not to do it. On our side, we also had a lot of the world saying, come on, come on. Boy, they was inviting hard. And they had all the best singers. You would go to church and they'd be like, singing out the hymns and humming around. And then you turn on MTV, them guys, man, with the hairspray and the cool, playing the cool guitars and women all over them. So it's like, drink beer, smoke pot. We was like, them guys are cooler than church people. And the church people just seem kind of, hateful sometimes when they was up there preaching. But they were nice though, and they were telling the truth. And just like I said this morning, you don't go trying to win the world with worldly ways. You win the world with the power of God and the gospel. And I did appreciate seeing people saved and everything. But I tell you, the world was coming at us strong, and they're still coming at people strong today. And I want my kids to be ready for what's coming at the end times. I want to be ready. And you can't be ready if you don't know what's going to happen. And if you don't know what's going to happen, how you prepare? And the biggest lie that's flooded Christianity today is that Jesus come back anytime. And that's not true. There's stuff in the Bible that has to happen. If Jesus come back today, then a big major part of this Bible, probably this much, is a lie. And I don't believe the Bible lies. And if Jesus come back today, he don't have to answer nothing to me. Don't take this wrong way. But he'd have a lot of explaining to do. Well, I'd just say you have to go to Tribulation, all these prophecies, Antichrist, Mark and Beast. And so this stuff's coming. And we do not know the day or the hour. But we do know it's going to be after Tribulation. Because Jesus said it was. We don't know the day or the hour. But we do know the season. He didn't say you wouldn't know the year. You wouldn't know the season. You wouldn't know. He just said after Tribulation. Immediately after Tribulation. This is going to happen. So when the tribulation starts, that's when we can be looking up. And we read in Revelation where it says, as far as the eye can see, people's like, God, when you going to avenge, there were people that come out of tribulation, when you going to avenge us for our blood? And God's like, just a few more people's got to be killed. Then I'll avenge you. And the world's going to see wrath. And that's why a lot of the people get mistaken. We are not going to go through wrath. We go through the world's tribulation. And you can read Job, when Satan finally got his hands on Job with nothing in the way, no blockage at all. God didn't have no protection, no barriers, no filter, no angels, no nothing. He just stood back, said, you can't kill him, do whatever you want to. You see what Satan did? He killed Job's kids, gave Job's bulls. He had friends accusing him and his wife nagging him and just lost all of his fortune, lost everything. And that's why Satan's going, oh man. I'm not saying the Holy Spirit's going to remove. The Holy Spirit never gets removed. That's a TBN thing. But God's going to stand back. And this world's going to be overtaken with evil. And they're going to start attacking the Christians. And I'm telling you guys, the day is coming. You guys sitting here, you like church and you like God. But you're not overly excited about being a Christian. I'm not saying all of you, but a lot of you are not overly excited about being a Christian. You don't go around to everybody, I'm a Christian, I'm a Christian, I'm a Christian. You might say I'm a Granger Grizzly, or I'm a Rutledge Pioneer, or I'm a Bean Station Buccaneer, but a lot of people don't go around saying, I'm a Christian, I'm a Christian. Because they're starting to get ashamed of it. And it's starting to be ridiculed now. If you stand for God, you're starting to be ridiculed. And I tell you, a lot of people do not care about Christians anymore. And you go work around an average job, most of them people are just as heathenistic they can be. You can tell them you're a preacher. You can tell them you pray 10 hours a day, read the Bible 10 hours a day, and fast and walk on water, doing everything. They don't care. They're going to cuss around you. They're going to talk vulgar around you because there's no respect for Christianity anymore. They took it out of schools a long time ago, and the schools went downhill lightning fast. You know what the biggest problem with school used to be before they took the Bible out of school and prayer out of school? Chewing bubble gum. That was the number one problem. Now we have school shooters come in, mow kids down, and blow kids away because they took God out of school. We got to get God back in our life. I tell you, everything from the worldly music is geared to pull people away from Christianity. The world's celebrities is geared to pull people away from Christianity. It never fails when a Christian when a celebrity stands up and says they're Christian. You better be ready for some really dumb stuff to start happening in that person's life, because they're going to get everybody following them, thinking they're Christian, getting people behind them, and then they're going to do some really, really stupid stuff. And then people that fell sucker for that is going to be thinking doing stupid stuff is okay. It's okay with God. God's cool with it. I tell you, the movies, a lot of them are geared to get people away from Christianity. We're flooded with fiction all the time. We're just sitting watching movies and TV and stories. And I'm a fiction writer. I write stuff. I wrote scripts and plays and TV shows, and I had wrestling shows. That's all fake. I hate to break your heart, but wrestling was fake and everything. I understand fiction, but we get so bombarded with it. Then we read the Bible, we read all this stuff Jesus does, and it mixes in with fiction. But this stuff wasn't fiction. This is reality. This is stuff that really happened. Jesus did walk on water. Jesus did heal blind eyes. Jesus did cure deaf ears. Doctors today can't even do that for the most part. They can give you glasses, hearing aids, but for the most part, very rarely can they cure your eyes. If you're blind, very rarely they cure your ears. If you're deaf, I mean, there's a few occasions that can happen. But I tell you, Jesus Christ got us ready, told us what we needed to know, but you don't hear it discussed much in today's time. And the world and Satan's a Pied Piper trying to pull the kids away, trying to pull adults away, trying to destroy generations. All it takes is one bad generation and this stuff's done. I watched a video one time about all the countries in the world. And almost every country in this world has been Christian at one time. All the Muslim countries you see where they're up there just tortured used to be Christian. The Hindus and Buddhist nations, one time used to be Christian. When they was Christian, they flourished. And people got comfortable in their luxuries, and they got comfortable in their blessings, and then they started to turn into sin and turn into idols and then here comes a false religion. That's God's pattern. If you don't live for Him, He'll let false religions come in. He'll let wicked people come in. He'll let foreigners come in and overthrow what you got going on, because you make Him look foolish when you sit there and claim Jesus with your mouth and your actions prove you're living a whole nother lifestyle. Very dangerous to say you're Christian if you're not living it. Very, very foolish to say I am a Christian and you have no fruit and you do the polar opposite of everything God tells you to do. So I want to start reading Matthew 24 here. It said, Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and disciples came to him to show him the building of the temple. And Jesus said to them, see not all these things. Verily I say unto you, there shall not be one left here, one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. Now note, this is back in the day and time where it took a really long time to build a real big building. They didn't have trains. They had boats, but they were limited in size. It wasn't like these big freight liners that take all this merchandise back and forth on the ocean. They didn't have cars and semi-trucks, and they didn't have Lowe's and Home Depot. It took a long time to build a big old gigantic temple. And Jesus told his disciples that there ain't going to be one stone left on this thing. And they were like, it took 40 years to build. What are you talking about? This is one of the magnificent wonders of the world, this big, giant, awesome temple. There's not one less stone left on it. But see, on top of that temple was a big gold dome. And when Romans come in 70 A.D. and ransacked Jerusalem, they set the temple on fire and it burnt. And when it burnt, all that gold leaked down into the cracks of the stone. And then gold is valuable. Gold is worth money. So the emperors, whatever's like, get all that gold out of them cracks in them stones. So they took every stone apart in that whole entire temple to get what didn't burn down, they took apart to get the gold out. So Jesus told the truth. A lot of stuff Jesus said was going to happen, it's happened. A lot of stuff Jesus says is going to happen in the end times is already starting to happen now. So if he tells you the truth and stuff he says is going to happen, then we know what I'm fixing to read. It's getting ready to happen. He said this around 35 AD or 33 AD or something, but in 70 AD, just like 20-something years later, this happened. And Jerusalem just got destroyed and got ransacked. Verse 3, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign that cometh in the end of the world? And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. Now this is red letter. We just sung a song a minute ago, red letters. So many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. So there's going to be a lot of people coming saying they are the Messiah, they are Christ, and we've seen that happen. There's also a lot of false prophets came and said Jesus is Christ. And reading that, I'm not really 100% sure which one he's talking about, whether they're saying Jesus is Christ or claiming themselves as Christ. But either way, we know there's going to be false prophets coming. And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. And, the rumors of wars, like, why do they throw in rumors of wars? But in these end times, we've seen wars. We've seen, the destruction. World War II, what a mess on this planet. World War I, what a mess. And America's seen Vietnam, Korean, and we've seen Iraqi war and stuff. But now, wars seem weird. It's just like countries are at war with each other, but ain't a whole lot of people really getting killed. And you might see a little bomb on this weird building and bomb here. Because it's the same people running the whole country now, the whole world now. Same people's running the whole show. The Bible said that there would be a shadow government, that I'm paraphrasing, that's going to run and control everything. And through sorcery, they're going to deceive everybody. And through drugs and media and television and TV shows, they're going to deceive everybody. So there's the same people running the whole planet now, so they're not going to bomb each other. They're going to bomb some weird, but we were at war with Iran. What have we done? How many people have been killed? Like a handful in each country. Trump said that there was a helicopter shot down and they ejected out of it and survived. Like, how do you eject out of a helicopter? Don't you know there's like a propeller? You jump up and you get chopped up 8,000 million pieces. But the war is now just going to be rumors because the same man runs this country is not going to attack himself. The same people is running the show. The rich elite trillionaires ever since Adam and Eve and Noah's Ark. They've been trying to take over the world for Satan, whether they're aware of it or not. For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. There shall be famines. We don't see that in the United States of America. All the men look pregnant, and including me. I looked at my belly the other day, so man, I got a 30-year reunion going on. If I don't lose some weight, people's going to think I had a sex change and got pregnant because I look pregnant. And I said, I was 155 pounds and I graduated. I don't want to go to my class reunion look like I'm 8 months pregnant. And everybody asks me when the babies do, because nowadays you can't tell man and woman apart anyway, but there'd be famines. There's famines all over the world. There's still hundreds of thousands of people starved to death all over the world, and it should not be. And there should be pestilences. There's pestilences all over the world. We don't always hear about them. And earthquakes in diverse places. Man, just like this week, world record earthquakes all over this globe, all over this planet happened. Nobody hardly ever talks about it. It destroyed Venezuela pretty hard, killed a lot of people. But they said it happened all over the world. We don't talk about it. We don't care. And these are the beginning of sorrows. That's just the beginning of it. Then they shall deliver. Now this is, read the wording here. Then they shall deliver you up to be afflicted and shall kill you. And you shall be hated of all nations for my sake. Then many shall be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another. Now listen, COVID was a good test. When COVID was going on, if you was I can't say it, I'll get kicked off Facebook, YouTube. You got a little bit of persecution. You got talked about like the dog. The media said Gene Simmons, KS rock band, so you ought to be killed if you don't take a certain thing that they was trying to push. And we got a lot of heat for it. Everybody closed the church down. If you didn't close your church down, everybody talked about you like a dog and persecuted you. If you didn't wear a mask, walk into the store, they wouldn't let you come in. Buy nothing in a lot of places. Walmart didn't care because Walmart's smart. And so you've seen how the world turned on them people. And that was going against the grain. I didn't want to go that grain. I didn't want to put disease inside my body, my kid's body. I did that before. I didn't want to trust the government. Good Lord, trusting government is like trusting Satan, a lot of things. I didn't want to smother myself, my face, wearing a mask instead just so I could buy something. So I did it. I got persecution everywhere, but I didn't care. I said, man, this is all a test for the mark of the beast. And I remember I'd walk in a store, and one in Rogersville was full of Christians. I think that's where I got this shirt at. Now, one person had a mask on. You walk in, hello, how you doing? And you hear them saying, I ain't wearing that darn thing. I ain't breathing snot down my throat all day. I said, okay, I could come in here and shop. First day I went in there, I bought like a painting for $3, sold it for $100. So, it's just God's sign that you could shop here. I go to another store. It's supposed to be Christian. Sir, you got to leave here. You ain't got a mask on. I said, have you ever heard the mark of the beast? Yes. I said, well, they say you can't buy or sell unless you got a mark of the beast. I can't buy or sell because I ain't wearing a mask. I said, this is the forerunner. This is the John the Baptist, but opposite, leading up to the mark of the beast. And I said, I'm not wearing it. I said, people ain't falling dead around here everywhere. And I said, people I see sickest ones breathing snot down their throat all day. I'm not wearing it. And, I got persecuted for it. Of course, I wasn't a baby about it. I didn't care. I was happy that I was making a stand for God. I wasn't making a stand against God. I was making a stand for God because I know what's coming. And the media is going to push garbage day and night, day and night, day and night. And these people that don't care nothing about spending no time searching for God, no time winning souls for God, they're going to be sitting home on their couches, and they're going to be sitting watching all this junk all day, getting deceived all day, and they're going to go after, them Christians, boy, they're sure standing in the way. Man, we've got a utopia coming. We can live for free, and we can have our video games for free. We can watch our TV free, get food free, get everything free. And boy, them idiot Christians, they just stand in the way and talk about mark of beast. Ain't no mark of beast. Man, this microchips and brain implants, they're curing cancer, they're curing paralysis, they're curing AIDS, they're curing all these diseases. And the Christians. Them old Christians, the old chomos in every church, and the walk around bikinis and stuff saying, this ain't good, this is bad. And man, it won't take no time they turn on us. And that's what people is deceived. They think everybody's like, oh no, I love all these Christians. Man, they don't see Christianity no more. They don't see nobody outside the walls helping people and ministering to people that much. They don't see Christians out here trying to win souls like they used to. Used to, they had a vacation Bible school. The church would parade up down the street with the kids, and they'd wave flags like, Vacation Bible School, and let people know, hey man, you're welcome to come to Vacation Bible School. And the people would use these sidewalks to walk to church and go to these Vacation Bible Schools. And when somebody got saved, and this is even hard for me to believe, this is a little bit before my lifetime. It died out like right before my lifetime. They said somebody gets saved, cops would put them on the hood of their car and drive them up down the street, and they'd celebrate, got saved, and people would cheer. What happened to that? Where did that go? Go up the road here about a mile. Church on the left, closed. Go up here about 2 miles. Church on the left, closed. You can drive around Rutledge right now, and I guarantee more than half of them are not open tonight. No Sunday night services. They're really worried about their kids' soul, ain't they? Oh, they've been told they've done all they need to do. They're good to go. No, they're not done all they need. They're not good to go. They need to be prepared for what's coming. While they're sitting around thinking Jesus is going to come back every time, and they start watching people get slaughtered everywhere, that's going to be the shock of their life, and it right here in the Bible wide open. And you got just a handful of people that actually read the Bible, study it for themselves instead of believing all these false teachers, false prophets, and they got here trying to warn people, hey, listen, the mark of the beast coming, the Antichrist coming, death is coming to Christians. You better be ready. We better be ready. Man, I've been learning foraging. I can look at. I can't look at a yard the same now. I can't go out in the field and look at it the same. Tyler today picked the weed out of mom and dad's sidewalk. And Tyler, that's edible. That's a medicinal plant. You can eat it. I said the Japanese like to make meatball stuff out of it. So Tyler starts eating on it. And I said, boy, I hope I diagnosed that one right. Tyler. He said, boy, it's got some good. Tyler starts chewing on it. But you can walk around the field, man. There's a lot of stuff you can eat. We need to know this stuff. And I told us to tolerate dandelions, a lot of clovers, a lot of chicory, a lot of these plants wasn't native to the United States of America. The colonials come over and they're like, man, we're going to plant this medicine everywhere. It was medicinal. They knew it helped them. They knew it worked. So they started planting all this stuff. It wasn't native here. They help us, so we'll have it down the road. They got an intuition to know, man, we're going to help our future generation. And we don't even know nothing about it. You know, we think medicine is Pepto-Bismol and Tylenol and the pharmacy up here. We don't know. Our whole fields are full of great medicine, great stuff that God gave us and our ancestors gave us to prepare. But it's good to learn this stuff because, man, when we out in the woods trying to hide out from the market beast antichrist, you can't hide out good because everybody's got cameras and stuff everywhere. There'll be drones flying over. You want to be able to survive as long as you can. But it says, not 12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Listen, iniquity is continual sin. What is most Christians' favorite saying today? I sin every day. I sin every day. Nobody's perfect. We all sinners. We all have sinned and fall short. No, they misquote it. They say, oh, we all sin and fall short of glory. God's talking about said we sinned, ED. And what that's talking about in John, it's talking about people were saying, look, I don't need Jesus. I'm not living in sin. I don't watch porn. I'm not cheating on my wife. I'm not committing adultery. I'm not stole. I don't covet. And John said everybody has sinned. And that's what he's talking about. It didn't say, oh, we can't stop sinning. We sin all day, every day, every day, all day, every day. Man, that's warped to the minds of Christians so bad. And they don't bury their nose in the Bible and realize that we're supposed to be living holy lives. When the Bible is strict. God is nothing bad. God is nothing evil. So why should Christians walk around living in evil and experiencing evil constantly? But iniquity's everywhere. Look how many people sleeping around unmarried. You know, God invented sex, but you had to be married, one partner for life. And if they die, you can marry another one. He didn't invent it for everybody to go around sleeping with everything that walks. That was shameful all the way up to like the 60s. The whole wide world, the whole planet, from the Noah's Ark, it was shameful to be sleeping around everywhere. Now it's just as common as day. And I told my dad, I said, Dad, what do you think about all these women? Their parents let them go live with their boyfriends, or their parents let these women go live with guys and men and stuff. And Dad said, boy, I could really see your papa. Me telling him that I'm going to shack up with his daughter. Said he would have killed me if he couldn't kill me. He had hired everybody he could hire to come after me, beat me to death. So there wouldn't be no shacking up back then. But we'll see how the world's changed now. You'll go to a place and they'll be up there singing, and half the praise team will be shacked up. And I tell you, we're living in a world where iniquity is everywhere. We're living in a world where man, people are just so full of sin. So many people is on to drugs and dope and addicted. And there's other people that's addicted that's prescribed it, but they think it's okay to get high, stay high. You know the Bible says be sober because a doctor gave it to them. What an iniquity. They love sin more than they love God. They don't want to give their sin up. That's why a lot of people won't come here, because we preach against sin. They want to live in sin. They want to go somewhere where it's comfortable to live in sin, and this is not the place. But he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. I'm going to read that again. But he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. So there is a salvation that God gives us. We know, we walk around, we know if we're saved or not, so the Spirit bears witness. We know that if we're born again, we feel that great peace, that great regeneration that the Holy Spirit does. And it's just like, man, such a blessing, such a sign that God's real. And we get a boost, and a lot of us kind of let it kind of die down, you know. And we sometimes we get it renewed again and get us a little boost here and there. And that's an awesome feeling. But you cannot stop right in the middle of your life and start living in wicked sin and expect to go to heaven. That is not biblical. Once saved, always saved. Nobody believed that until like the 1940s. Go find any ancient writer, any teacher or preacher. Nobody taught that. Nobody believed that. And it started like in the 40s and got big in the 60s. And they started trying to fight with the Pentecostals over it and stuff. Pentecostals like, look, man, that is not biblical. And listen, Pentecostals were a lot more biblical than a lot of Baptists were. And the Baptists like, oh, we're going to, we'll say, no matter what you do, you still go to heaven. That is not Bible. They got like 6 verses that don't say that, but could kind of say that. They want 80 verses against that. But I'm going with the 80 verses 6. And you have an answer for everything, make all these quotes and to try to defend your stance. But listen, that's just quotes. That's not scripture. But he that endure to the end the same shall be saved. And some people say, oh, it just means you'll live if you endure to the end. No, it means it's talking about your soul. And he said, the Bible says that many times. And this gospel being a kingdom shall be preached in all the world for witness to all nations, and this shall the end come. So we've seen that. The whole world has been evangelized. I had a friend, his dad was in Vietnam War. And his dad said, you know, the people really didn't know who Jesus were. People in Vietnam, they even heard Jesus. They're like, Jesus, I don't know Jesus. And he's like, now they do. They know Jesus good. I don't think there's an inch of this planet that has not been evangelized. So that come to pass. That prophecy Jesus talking about come to pass. So that happened. You put a big check on that. You couldn't check that in the 70s. You couldn't check it in the 80s. You can check that now. That's happened. And when you therefore shall see abomination, desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Whoso readeth, let him understand. And we don't know for sure the holy place. A lot of people say the temples can be real, but it could be more likely. Don't have to be, just say the holy place. And we're reading Daniel, there's going to be like what we call an Antichrist, come son of perdition, man of sin, that he stands in the holy place and claims to be greater than God. And Revelation says the same thing. Jesus is saying it here. It's not just talking about sin. It's talking about, and man, that's just where these people teach us dumb stuff. These great preachers around here that got all people saved, but they never would study the Bible. And people go, what's the desolation? Abomination, desolation. They go, oh, sin? Sin? Everybody, that means sin. And you couldn't convince them. And Jesus come back himself. It's like, look, that don't mean sin. That means a man is going to have a lot of power. The Revelation talks about like he got almost a mortal wound and survived. And, you know, and he claims himself to be greater than God or being God. And he's got a new the God of forces, what the Bible talks about it. It's a God, a spirit that had never been here before. It's here now. I think it's AI. And he claims to be God, and that's abomination, desolation. It talks about it. Paul talks about it. Daniel talks about it. Maybe Mark, Luke talks about it. John talks about it. It's in the Bible. It's very biblical. That has to happen before Jesus comes back. And I've told y'all before, look how popular Obama's got, and how popular Trump's got, and how popular Elvis was, and even Hitler was popular at one time. And we see people get popular. Peyton Manning was popular around here. Everybody named their kids Peyton. People can be popular. The Antichrist is going to be popular. And I think he's going to go after all these pedophiles. People are sick of it. People are sick every time they turn around. Some elites rape children, eat babies, and all this stupid stuff. I think the Antichrist is going to go after them first. And he's going to turn people away to Christianity. He's going to have to be likable. He's not going to be right-wing, left-wing. He's going to have to be something that everybody likes. The Bible even said Christians, I'm paraphrasing, but it says Christians, elect is even going to fall for it, be deceived if possible, because everybody's going to like him. And I tell you, I dread that time coming. I dread that time all these couch Christians that won't go to church on Sunday nights, Wednesday night. They'll go on Sunday morning after Sunday school just so they can hear a preacher preach 10 minutes, hear a few hymns, pat yourself on the back. Thank God's going to take them to heaven and give them a big old mansion. No, he's going to hand you a mop, and he's going to hand you a broom, a dustpan, a mop bucket, and said, you'll be rewarded by your works. You sit on that couch. Now your reward's going to be cleaning this castle for 1,000 years. Or your reward, you're going to be a janitor over here or a dishwasher over here. And I tell you, and the people that get off their rear ends and come off their time, and come off their money, come off their resources, and made their children go to church and learn, they're going to be rewarded ruling and reigning with Christ the good way. I hope I get Gatlinburg. I said, oh, Lord, you know, I'm not going to get mad if I don't, but I sure would love him to say, Gatlinburg's yours. You run around Gatlin, which I love. I love Gatlinburg. So nice. I hate it so commercial, so expensive, and the moonshines took it over. And but Jesus ain't going to be putting on the moonshine stuff. Anyway, it said, 16, then let them which be in Judea flee in the mountains. And I looked at the map, and the Judea is like where Jerusalem is. The mountain's Palestine. The Antichrist don't go after Palestine. I was like, why don't they go after Palestine? He's going after Gaza and all that. Why don't they go after Palestine? There's no resources in Palestine. There's a bunch of little mean army men over there that will blow your head off, but they've got no resources. There's no treasures, there's no riches, and nothing. So Antichrist don't care about them, leave them alone. The people in Judea, when they start seeing this stuff coming, they got any sense, they better be running up the mountain and getting out of Jerusalem. And I used to think, how is people going to turn on Jerusalem when USA has like 8 army bases around it? USA pays all the countries to leave Israel alone. Everybody loves Israel. I mean, if you want to make an enemy real fast, you say something bad about Israel. I've had people make videos on me, not cuss me, but fuss me. I'm going into Holtz. I've lost probably 20, 30 friends or more. Lost a lot of church and everything because I didn't support Israel or support the Zionism. And now the whole world's waking up. I was 10 years ahead of the game. The whole world's like, Zionism, believe Jesus is in hell burning. Zionism, rabbis started, all the porn sites are started by rabbis. Zionism teaches that if you corrupt the Gentiles, then God blesses you and all the Gentiles on the world just to be your slave, to be Jew slaves and everything. And they start reading this stuff and finding out this. They're like, what in the world? So now the whole world hates Israel. The whole world's hate Jerusalem. And that happened in a flick of a switch. Tucker Carlson and all them waking people up, and I still think he's Jewish too. He wears that red bracelet. The new Muslim mayor and New York, I've heard Jewish people talk about, man, he's Jewish, his mom's Jewish. He wears that red bracelet. That means I'm a converted Jew. Supreme Court justices, you'll see them wearing the half of them's Catholic, half of them's Jews. The Jews wear the red bracelet. He's controlled opposition. Be careful who you listen to and who you fall for, because they will turn you right, lead you right into the Antichrist. But anyway, he said, let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. So get out there is what he's saying. Don't even waste no time. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe to them that are with child, and them get sucked in those days. But pray that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. Ain't that funny that now we have airplanes, so they can mean airplane. And what's the only place in the whole world that really, really strict on the Sabbath day? It's Jerusalem. They wouldn't even turn electricity on, touch an elevator button, or flick they'll have porn. They'll have porn sites, but they won't turn the light switch on. So on the Sabbath days, because it's showing it's how strict, because everything will be shut down. You won't be able to go to the airport, get on a plane, and leave if it happens on a Sabbath day. You ain't going to be able to get a taxi right out of town if it happens on Saturday, because everything's going to be shut down. Jesus knows what he's talking about. For there shall be great tribulation. Don't miss this, guys. There shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world, to this time, nor ever shall be. And except those days shall be shortened, there shall be no flesh saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So that means there's going to be so much killing going on that there will be nobody left if God did intervene. But he's going to intervene for the elect's sake. And there's going to be some people that hasn't been killed. Everybody's like, I can't wait Jesus come back. I said, so you ready to see all your family get killed? You ready to get your head cut off? And you ready to do all this? Because that's got to happen before Jesus comes back. Oh, no, my preacher said, I don't care. The Bible said, I go what Jesus said. Jesus says there's going to be a tribulation. So be careful what we say. I've been to churches, man, I start saying about Jesus come back in town. They'd be running pews, shouting, crying, hollering. I'm thinking, guys, you're sitting there begging for Jesus to come back. You're begging for everybody to start getting killed, because that's what's got to happen first. And that's Jesus plain as day. And 23, then if any man shall say to you, lo, here's the Christ, or there, believe it not. For there shall rise false Christs, false prophets, and show great signs and wonders, insomuch, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. So he's sitting there telling you that signs and wonders going to deceive the very elect. Pentecostal church seen signs and wonders in mass in the middle 1900s. And it started fizzling out. Now we don't see it no more. They traded that for entertainment stuff. People are leaving them churches to go to the entertainment movie theater churches. And they don't see miracles. Baptists never practiced miracles except when they first started. So nobody's going to see miracles no more. But when Antichrist comes, he's going to have miracles. What drew people to Jesus in droves and tens of thousands? Miracles. Man, if there's somebody in Rutledge that's going around doing miracles, I'm going to be there to see it. Whether I believe in him or not, I'm going to be there to see it. That's going to deceive so many people. People sick of having cancer. People sick of being sick all the time. Man, but everybody you talk to has got some kind of back problem, leg problem, eye problem, ear problem, head problem, aches and pains. It's awful having that stuff. Now here comes the man with the answer, the man having the miracles. I believe through technology, I believe people's going to find out the ones that suppress cures for cancer, suppressed things that will bless this earth. I believe the Antichrist is going to show, look, they've suppressed it. I'm going to punish them. I'm going to jail them. I'm going to kill them. Everybody's going to be cheering happy. I'd be happy. You know, they've got cures for everything in the world, but they can't make no money on it. So they suppress the cures. If you've been in a car that runs on water, your life expectancy is not long. As soon as that video comes out, you're dead. If you got anything that's going to tap into people's pocketbook, you're a dead man. But I believe the Antichrist is going to come and say, look, man, these people have been suppressed technology. Now I'm going to let it flow. Everybody's going to be cured, healed, run on water. Everybody's going to have all this money and stuff. If you take the mark of the beast and the worship, there's a worship coming. The worship has to come first. You go to churches in the area, and a lot of them are just, they got the hymns, they go, ain't nobody worshiping. Everybody sitting around yawning and looking at their phones and playing with babies and reading books and drawing, and nobody's worshiping during the worship music or during the worship. Nobody worships no more. When Antichrist comes, man, you lift your hands up and worship whatever, you'll feel something. You'll feel some kind of buzz. You'll feel some kind of tingle and zing, and everybody's going to be doing it. You go to a dance club, everybody gets drunk and everybody's dancing and stuff. Everybody joins along. That's what's going to happen when Antichrist comes. Everybody's going to join in, and they're going to do just crazy worship of the devil because they've not seen nothing out of Christianity in a long time. 25, behold, I told you, I'm almost done. I've told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chamber, believe it not. And then, I just tell you these Left Behind movies and stuff. Like, there's no secret rapture at all, nothing. There's not going to be, you're not going to wake up one day and there's going to be clothes laying on the bed like, oh, my wife went to the rapture and I didn't get to go. There's not going to be airplane pilots disappear because they got rapture and airplane wrecks and car wrecks. That is Hollywood. Anything Hollywood teaches you about guarantee, it's going to be polar opposite. For as lightning cometh out of the east and shining into the west, so also coming the Son of Man be. For wheresoever the carcass is, the eagles be gathered together. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, that Jesus is talking about his coming right now. Shall the sun be darkened? Or he's talking about the rapture. Shall the sun be darkened? Sun be darkened, so lights are out. The moon shall not give her light, so no matter if it's day or night, wherever you're at, there's going to be no light. And the stars shall fall from heaven, so be total blackness, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Used to when I ran wrestling, they talked about, there's one way of getting a good effect is you turn all the lights out in the building. And then all of a sudden the entrance comes on, the Undertaker starts coming out, there's neon lights, and everybody goes crazy. That gets an awesome effect when you turn the lights out. And sometimes events will turn all the lights out, just put a spotlight on the stage. That's an awesome effect. Right here, Jesus is blacking out the world, the whole entire world, pure darkness. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Does that look secret to you? And the whole world, and everybody knows. All these witches around here and all these pagans, these Hindus and these Muslims and these atheists and these lukewarm Christians are going to know, now we are cooked. What Eric been saying up here is true. Maybe he ain't as crazy as we thought he was. What this random preacher, I think God's going to put a preacher about every town that's going to warn people and try to wake people up. That might be why we're here. Might be where God sent me. I'm not in Gatlinburg yet. And he shall send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet. So the whole world's going to hear the trumpet. And they shall gather together his elect from four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Now learn the parable of the fig tree, which his branch is yet tender, put forth leaves, summer is nigh. That has nothing to do with Jerusalem, Israel. That's just telling you, when you see a fig tree, you know that summer's nigh when it starts putting out leaves or whatever. You know when spring's coming, when the tulips start popping out. I guess it's tulips in it. The bulbs start growing through the ground. You know, okay, spring's here. Grass ain't grown yet, but the flowers are. So Jesus is giving us a warning. When you start seeing mark of beast, Antichrist, world turning against Christians, signs and wonders to whatever, that you know, it's fixing to come. Christians better be ready for this. Well, likewise, when you shall see this thing, know that it is near, even at the doors. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass until all things be fulfilled. And heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. And he said, but of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels in heaven, but my Father. Now, he did say that he's going to come after tribulation, but we don't know what day or hour. He didn't say, but he did make clear it's after the tribulation. They talked about the thief in the night. They said, if you're ready, he don't come like a thief in the night for you. But if you're caught up in shopping, caught up in your 9 to 5, your careers, in your ball games, and everything in the world there is to stand before God. You're caught up in all that stuff. When Jesus comes and you ain't ready, it's like, I've missed it. The thief of the night has came, and I've not been ready for it. And I tell you, people's not going to be ready for it. Look how quick COVID came and gone. The Antichrist is only going to be in power 3.5 years. Ain't no 7 years. I don't know where they get that 7 years. They don't say nowhere in the Bible 7 year nothing. 3.5 years. Within 3.5 years from his start to his end, the rapture is going to come. And then the wrath of God is going to be poured out, and a whole lot of revelation that's dedicated to showing the wrath. So if you're not ready, even y'all here, you're not ready when this happens and Jesus comes, guess what? You get left behind. And even if you hadn't took the mark of the beast, you ain't living right for God. Even though you took the mark of the beast, you're still going to be here. And even the people that hadn't took the mark of the beast, you're not living right for God. You're still going to suffer the wrath of God and have to live around all this earth. You don't want to be here doing that. And people still can get saved because God sends prophets. He's got two big witnesses coming, preaching, trying to keep people, arresting people for taking the mark of the beast, and they get saved. I tell you, I preached you the truth. I didn't preach no opinion tonight. I read right out of the scriptures. I repeated Jesus. I didn't parrot some goofy preacher that never cracked the Bible open in his life. I didn't parrot some TV preacher that's out here making a ton of money and got a big following deceiving people. I read you what Jesus said. And that's where I'm going with, Jesus. And I'm done in Jesus' name.